Welcome back to Small British Steps. You find me in the administration building because I'm just looking at this again to try and decide what I want to do. I think I want to get this downrange, early rocket development downrange done as quickly as possible, which is how we've got it set up at the moment. We've got a 3,000 and a 4,500 kilometer range. I think that's doable with the rockets that we have lined up. So that's not a problem. And then we're going to leave the X-planes running because we're going to start then doing research on that. And I then have to decide on the light or heavy early satellites. And I think I want to go heavy because of the extra funding and because having something that can put a ton into orbit is pretty useful, actually. We've got to get this one done. We're going to knock out 2 of these because after 2 of these we get the Kármán line and then we can sit with that. After this contract has been completed, more X-plane supersonic optional contracts will become available. Yes, they will. We've got the low supersonic at the moment. What we will actually do is, because this is 450 and this is 400, we will test our new craft. I did that craft that we just did go up to 400. I think it did. So I think we could go for that if we have time. If we're taking too long, we could put one in for that. But we are going to do the high altitude one right now. And of course, we last time prepped our Krumok ready. So it's actually ready to go up again if I've got a pilot for it, which I think it does. And you know what? I think we'll have a day launch because daytime is so much better. So let's launch this thing. Right, we are up at 9 kilometers up. We've been dropped by our plane and we're going to get the engines going. There we are, all ignite. Wonderful. Little tip for you. When doing this, don't spam the sort of ignition button or the Z key or something, because I found that for some reason it sometimes causes a lot of my engines to not work. It's almost like you're over-igniting them or something. So all we're going to do is hit 40 kilometers with this. So we're going straight up. This thing has a thrust to weight that is in excess of 1. So we are just going to get it driven up there. And I don't have a problem with this. I'm actually going to sit back. I'm going to get my phone out right now. I'm going to start playing on my phone because I've got so much other stuff I could do with this mission. It's just easy, isn't it? We know this plane so much, so well. There we go. But just check my messages. So nobody's commented on the last video. Comment on the last video, please. Right. We're going on up there. We could put ages on these engines. We do have another. Which engine is that again? Is it that one? It's the left-hand engine every time. What is going on with you? It's the same engine each time. Is that the one that's always going to happen? I mean, where's our thing? Where are you? Performance loss. We've got maximum on it, but it's that engine every time. I wonder if there's something clipping it or something impacting it that we have yet to understand. I don't know. Now, do we go for the 70? Where is my car? Let me have a look. Upgrade stats. We can go to 75. I think I'm going to try and hit 70. There's a mission here for getting 70. I want to get it. I've decided. By the way, rep, we're well short of the maximum, so not a problem. I'd like to get 70, please. That would be lovely, because then we know we can actually do it. And then we'll just do that. And then I'm going to cut the engines. Right. So this thing is going to come down now with a bit of aplomb. We haven't run the engines full time. I'm gonna empty the tanks, which you may think is cheating, but I could not possibly. Where's my thing for fuel? Where is it? Where? Oh, there it is. Ship manifest. I want to dump kerosene. I want to dump HTP, and I think I'm happy once I've done that. We're just firing peroxide. Firing peroxide all over the place right now. Right, are we going to hit 70? I am assuming we're going to hit 70. I mean, I looked, but there we go. Superb. Of course, we have a little to no control right now. Control authority is almost 0. We've not got as much delta V velocity as we would normally have. And I have just realized that we are coming down on a on top of the lake. Yeah, that's That's something, you know what, re-entering on a squint like that is not a good idea, sea monsters, right? Just hold it like it is. What if I do that? No, put that on, hold that up. Right, okay. Right, we are coming in. We've done all the stuff we need to do. We've got a little bit of the sciences. Still got 13 minutes on that to do. We'll never get that. Right, we'll probably do that if we get the X15. Actually, could probably do that. Right, okay. Does it count? I suppose, does it count if it's in the orbit? That's a question. Like if I do a suborbital hop, will it still count that high altitude science while it's on a suborbital path? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Right, we are coming in. We are now over the water. So I would like to potentially turn, because I want to go to this bit here. Because I don't know if we've got the delta V to get out of this. We should have. I mean, you know, we should have. It shouldn't be a problem, but you never know. Right. What am I over? I'm up. Literally, we're going to be over that bit of land there, aren't we? Yeah, just go for it. Just go for it. We should hit land. The cockpit is warming up. Ooh, you know what? Stop doing that when you're under significant thrust. Significant. So, yeah, that cockpit is a bit toasty. Bit toasty. The irony is, I've got fire engines going past outside the window right now. I don't know if you heard it. Which they've obviously heard. They've obviously heard that we have a cockpit that is pretty much going to explode at any moment. Do we go faster this time? Roy, are you feeling confident? Confident? Confident. Confident is a new word. Confident. Confident about what you're doing here, because I am. I'm very confident in you and your ability to fly this plane, particularly when we do a bit of banking like this. We're over the land now. Okay, so if I do a bit of that and a bit of that and a bit of that, there. What's that like for you? Oh, actually, let's do the tail turn thing that we did before. There we go. That's it. Slow us sideways on into the wind. There we go. Look at that. We are not going to have to do anything stupid now. There we go. Superb. Ooh, look at that. Engine, whole thing's cooling down. Oh, the whole thing. When you get down low, it does cool down quite quickly, doesn't it? So when you get into this lower section, it sort of lets the heat dissipate rapidly. Okay, we can fire the engines, actually. No, fire the engines. Fire the parachutes. We are going pretty fast. I'm not sure if the parachutes would fully be happy with that, but we'll do a bit of braking. Do a bit of braking there. Roy, of course, is now trained in the X15 cockpit, and as such, we'll find this to be quite. Although he's not actually been in an X15 cockpit because he hasn't actually built it yet, and also it's not the X15. It's like the T15 something. I don't know what we'd call it in Britain. What would we call it? It's the X1 cockpit. We wouldn't call it the X1 either, would we? We'd call it the pointy fast cockpit, the Miles 52. That'd be like the Miles 52. And then what would the X15 be? The mustard cockpit? Mustard? If anybody wants to do a Google search on mustard and rockets, they are welcome to do that. I'm trying to think. Mega Rock. That I'd like it. That wasn't a cockpit. Yeah, comment down below. What would the cockpit be for the British, and what would it look like? I did have a lovely comment on the first episode of the series where somebody said it would be really good to have like capsules and stuff like that. I have thought about that. I've thought about like potentially what would you have, and I suppose in my head you'd have like a suborbital capsule that would have been designed for Mega Rock. So you'd have like a suborbital hop capsule, which I'm sure we could model by modifying something that's already available. And then you'd have your orbital one. I'm not entirely sure what you go for. I would be tempted to say it'd be something like Gemini, because for those who don't know, Gemini, one of the leaders of the Gemini capsule project, was a Canadian guy, worked for Avro, so he would have had links to the British, and of course Avro, a lot of work on British engines, British Space Program and stuff early on, so potentially would have had something like that. But then there's only so many ways you can design a capsule. Let's be entirely honest. They're all going to look very much of a muchness, so I don't feel bad about that. I don't know what else there was a mention of. Bigger engines, stuff like that. I have not put in the Tau and stuff engines which I used on the previous series, on the very British Space Program series, because they were completely manufactured. They were basically like, if the British had kept going with this, they would have gone for bigger engines. That's what they would have had. Personally, given the way that the British clustered engines, I would imagine they would probably have gone for mass clustering of engines. And then you've ended up with something that's very much like the N1, but it'd be like the British version, which ran on T or something. It'd be a bit an odd one. Anyway, this mission is done. We are just coming back down. I will let the parachutes flop, and then I think we shall see you back at the, I was going to say the runway, but at the space station. Spaceport, space place, space airport thing. Well, there, that place. Right, so we finished that mission. We've completed that. We got quite a lot of credits actually. I didn't realize we got that many credits. How did we get so few last time? Okay, we didn't get anything for that. You get a bit of stuff. Oh, we've jumped back to the normal thing, and of course we've got to go back to our staffing. We've got to go back to the hangar. We've got to put our crew on to maximum. We've got to pull this thing in. There we go. What we also have to do is realize that proficiency is going to be a problem for us. So let's actually just see. Have we got an astronaut? You're inactive. You're inactive because you are off until the 10th. You're off until the 14th. So Claire, you're going to have to come back in, 4 days and do a training course straight away. But you will have, you know what, actually, when Elsie comes back, we're going to put her on the X-15 just in case. I know it costs us funds, but you know what, it just needs to be done. We're going to sort the Crummock out again. So we go, as usual, we come into here, we open this, we go Crummock, we want that one, do that, there we go. Have I got another one of it? No, I don't. Okay, so there we go, that's done. It's going to take, now here's the interesting bit, 23 hours if we do that. So if we save the edits, then we come over here and we can see it's going to take 10 hours. So it's taking less. Now, is that because it's calculating it based on something else? I don't know. What we can look at, though, is, while I'm thinking about this, before we run that, in fact, let's just run it, swap it to complete, get it done. Right, wonderful. Then we'll prepare launch. Right. Let's have a look at integration in the other one of these. So these are now, yeah, they're now down to 105. And I need them at 130, so we're going to destaff them a bit. We need them to be, because they're getting a push up, so now their efficiency can be up to 100% because of the work we've done. So we need to actually give ourselves a bit of a difference. There we go. That's fine. If we're going to do downrange contracts, these can do them. So there we go. Which means we've got even more crew to actually put in the hangar. There we go. That takes us to the, what's the maximum for this? The maximum is, there isn't a maximum for the hangar, is there? There isn't, but it does have, yeah, it does have max 37, so 67, so any more than that does actually nothing to it. We're going to do for you, we're going to go training. I want mission X1. It's a 10-day training course over the Christmas holidays. How very nice for you. High altitude, oh, the optional ones have times on them. Interesting. So this one is for, let's have a look, it's for 80 kilometers. Oh, that's cheeky. That is cheeky. Okay, that's really cheeky actually. So it went from 40 to 80 because it used to be staggered. It used to be 40, 50, 60, and you used to have to go all the way through them, but now they've just put the 2 in, and then you got the optional ones. That makes a lot more sense actually. I like that a bit more. But we're going to have to wait 120 days. Okay. So let's wait 120 days for that. So we'll put a timer in. So next launch is going to be an Atlatl. How exciting. Now this is the best bit. The Atlatl takes 11 days. It costs about 400 funds to roll out. But because, and this is something that is beautiful, because we make so much per day now, it's actually not going to stop us making money. We're going to finish basic rocketry while that's happening, in fact. Intermediate, downrange, there you go. If you don't want to see these anymore, please do say so. If you're sort of done with seeing the downrange contracts, I will buzz through them. There's not many more to go, to be fair. I think we'll probably stop them. It's just a nice way of getting this stuff built up because we will need it later on. Go for another day. So what I'll do is I'll jump back. We'll do high speed launch. We'll do super mega high speed launch. You can see the next one is 128 days away. And then 140 and all that sort of, so it's going to be okay. We've got very few staff actually integrating at the moment, though. Right. Let's accept this. Take it intermediate. We could go further, 320, but I don't feel the need. We'll just do that. We'll do that 320 for the last launch. Right. Yeah, let's launch and go. Right, here we are. Let's just get this thing fired. So, fire the engines. We're good. Launch that. Hit this. Off we go. Speedy up. We're going to go speedy on this one. So, we're going to go speedy on up all the way until we get to about 80 meters per second. Then we're going to go to 5 degrees over. We've lost an engine. That's not going to stop us. That's not going to be a problem. Then we're going to go surface velocity positive. There we go. That engine is annoying, but we can probably gimbal it out. I don't think we're going to be without launch. It's not going to be a problem. Up we go, up we go, up we go. I might actually pitch us back a bit, just to stop us going up too much. And I'm going to pitch us back a bit more. Yeah, I think we need to pull back a bit there, and I need surface at 45. Hold me at 45, please. Hold me at 45. We might lose this, actually. This might be a loss. I think we're high enough up for it not to be a loss, but we'll have a look. We've got about 30 seconds left to go. That one engine out was actually having us turn over a bit faster than I would have liked. We've got 15 seconds to go. We've now got to make the 140 kilometer mark, otherwise this launch is pointless. I don't think we're going to make the 140 kilometer mark. We have not. That is a fail. That is a fail. Wow. Did not see that coming. Did not see that coming. Wow. Right, we'll just let this run a bit. Is it going to get us any science? It's finished giving science. So that's been nice. We at least got some science out of it. I think we're ready to kill it. Yeah, we're going to range safety it. Right. Right, so that was the second sort of engine failure of a cluster of 4 or 5 that we've had in this episode. First one being on the Crummock. So that had a problem with its actual just, was it reliability or thrust rate or something like that. Now we've had an Atlatl lose one as well, and that pretty much cost us. Actually, we started rolling too quickly. We did have guidance. I could have actually controlled it. I didn't, because we were doing speedy up. And you know what? I think that's pretty accurate. If you launched like 8 of them, you start thinking it's dead easy. So the next of those is there. So what we could do, and this is a bit of an overkill, is we could just do that. What does that do to the combined list? Does it in 23 days? Okay. So after that, then we get onto that. Superb. Now, one thing we do notice is that when we've actually got most of our staff working, our balance isn't going up by much. That's something to take into account. We do have about 10,000 funds in the old bank right now, and we've got a good unlock credit building up of 100 each day, which is very nice, actually. I need to check that. Right. So we're going to rush through, we're going to recondition the pad. Then we're going to rush through, get that one done. There we go. Wonderful. Then we're going to go back to the staff. And we want to take that back down all the way now to 135 days. Because there's no point having them come out any quicker than that. There's no point us actually building that up. So 135, 137 is good. There we go. That now means that we get all of our funds back, 100 a day. Wonderful. How are we doing for the reputation? Ooh, look at that. Current yearly subsidy, 120,000. Oh, I love that. I love that. Right. We're going to roll out that. We're going to try that again, I think. There we go. And then we're now 141 days away from the next thing. Is there anything else we can do while we're looking at it? High altitude optional. Oh, we could do that, couldn't we? It's all. Oh, yeah, it's the one we're working towards. It's got another little bit of time to go, and then we're ready to do that. Okay, right. Let's launch this time. We'll do it at night. Just get it done. The second time is the charm. So let's get everything good. We don't want that on. We're just going to fire the engines and off we go. Launchy launch, surface is on. We're going to go straight up. We're going to do it again. We're going to go to double speed because that's always good for the engines. I'll have to point downwards because it's dark out there, isn't it? Now, again, we're going to do the same thing. So we get to 80, we go down by 5, and then we're going to wait till 120, and then we're going to go to here. We're going to put a pitch on at that point there. There we go. And now we've got all that thrust really pushing us through. So hopefully this time we should be doing okay. And then at some point we're going to get over here. We're going to put this to 45. We're going to execute that. When we get to about 1,000 meters per second, something like that, we'll probably turn it and do that. Probably more than that. Probably about 1,000 is where I want to do it. Get ourselves just moving along nicely. Apoapsis is now at 40. Is now at 50. Is now at 60. And we're getting to that 1,000. There we go. We turn the craft off. We are nice and done. Those fins in the back there. We've got extra fins to give it extra stability. And I think we're going to be good. I think it's going to be okay. There we go. We're over 140 now. We can speed this thing up a little bit. Much better, much better. Are we actually getting some? We are getting some science as we go as well. Look at that, a bit of science from over the high water. That's nice to see. Are we going to get the coast as well? Will we get the coast? Will be shoreline, I believe it's called, isn't it? So that's the there, high shores. There we are, high shores. We get a little bit of that. There we go, and then high desert, and then low space. Good stuff. Wonderful. Right, that is done, I believe. No, it has not. We need to keep going. Got to keep going. There we are. Done now. Now we're going to re-enter. And then we're going to have to save range safety. Otherwise, I have to watch it come all the way down. Right. Range safety. Done. Yes. Superb. Right. So second time was a charm. It is done. Now we're back into the sort of standard routine. So we've got, it's going to have a bit longer on it. We've got this one, which is level flight, which is, we've got to get bigger engines for that. So these are all going to wait. The optional altitude one we can do, but the high altitude and the supersonic are going to have to wait until we get to, if we go to research, until we get to mature supersonic flight and then hypersonic flight. Hypersonic flight is going to be the X-15 cockpit, and that's going to be needed for, it's going to be needed for the higher altitude stuff over 80. So we'll have to just strap that on. And I think that should be a direct addition. I think I can just swap it on. I'm not sure. In fact, we might have a look at that, or we might have to build a new craft. Oh dear. Right. With that in mind, I think we're just going to run forward in time. We've got not much going on. We do, however, now have our optional, here we are, where are we? Our optional flying high, where is it? 50 kilometers. So we'll take that. Even if we don't do it straight away, we can rock it up. And then we've got another javelin ready, so we'll just run forward to that. We're not in a hurry to do these missions. We're just going to take them at the right times so that you can build up again. So we've got mission training for X1 has expired. So what I actually need to do is go to our pilots and go right training, mission X1. I think we're going to send Elsa again. We'll send Elsa. Good stuff. And then we'll roll out you as well. How are we looking for funds? We are chucking a load of money together. We like that. Even with training, we're still getting funds coming in. And we need to start building those funds up, actually, because we are going to have to start spending quite a bit of the money on stuff. Right. So I think we're ready. We're going to roll that out. And then we've got 2 missions to do, and we'll do those nice and quick. So let's have a look. Downrange, intermediate, 170. Wonderful. We'll take that. I'm not going to show you that one. Let's just, we'll do it quick again. And then we'll do the Crummock, or what is it they're doing? It's the Crummock. Let's just do the Crummock one. Let's get the Crummock one done. Right, we'll just, while we're doing this, we'll just clean up this contract situation. And then, we'll get the engines going maybe. There we go. And then we'll just check what's the altitude that we need to get to. Where are we? We need to get to 50k, so we'll just pull up. And we'll go up at a nice 45-degree angle. There we are. And we'll speed it up now. There we go. All the way up. Yeah, these things have become routine. The only problem is the cooldown on the way down, which I think has got worse, but we will think about that. Right. Here we go. All the way up. And then we will drop the speed when we get to about 50. I don't mind overshooting it, to be fair. Wouldn't be a massive problem if we overshot. Let's have a look. Science will start up at any minute. There we go. Let's pull the speed down. Level us out a bit. There we go. And then I am going to... See, is that falling? It is falling. So we're going to cut the engines. There we go. We should hit 50 is what I'm assuming. And the next mission will be this one. And I will probably just run through that. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, you have to leave the atmosphere. That's all right. Yeah, I was going to say that would be a really cheeky way of doing it, isn't it? Right, can I put the nose down on this? Can we actually drive this down? Because I'd really like to put it down over here instead of having to go across the water. Plus also we could test, because actually it would be nice to know how we do with this. So let's do that. Let's do that. Whoa, 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 whoa. We are now in a bit of a spin there. Okay, the air is very thin up here, isn't it? So we do that. Just to there. There we go. And then we do a bit of that. We go. We're gonna flat ourselves up. There we go. Just really pancake. Really pancake now. Because we really want to just bring ourselves around. And now we're gonna just do that. We're just gonna, yeah, no, it doesn't want to do it, does it? It doesn't want to do it. Okay. Okie doke. There we go. Oof. Come on, grab the air, please. Grab the air. I want to kill off as much velocity high up as possible. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Right, there we go. We're going to start gripping the air now, I think. About 40. Right, about 30. We're pancaking quite badly here. If we actually can do this. No, other way. Other way. Oh, there we go. We're going to be flat spinning it. Flat spinning it. Okay. Come on. Do that. Woo! Gee, that was... So atmospheric autopilot is supposed to stop you from doing that. It's supposed to stop you from potentially hitting yourself into a situation where you kill your pilot or rip the wings off. However, I have still managed in testing before I actually started this series to rip the wings off. So this craft and others that I've designed they're not defeated by atmospheric autopilot. If you watch my British series, there is a number of times where I had incidents with wings falling off because I do tend to be quite aggressive and the wings tend to be they're different. The way I approach things is probably different to the way you probably should. Right, look at that. We just get rid of all that delta V. Wonderful. Can we do a bit of that? We're actually using the tail to aim at the ground now. There you go. Do that. Do that. Yeah, and then do that. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Yeah, you can't teach this. You can't. Elsie, I know you've been on the X1 training course and you think you know what you're doing. Yeah, first of all, this is not an X1, so I don't know why you were sent on that training course at all. But you know what? You've either got it or you haven't, and you've got it obviously because you're doing brilliantly. Obviously, yeah, not me doing it at all. Right, we're gonna come in fast now. Actually, I am going to do a dive, get us down low because I'm done with that there, and then we're going to kill something, possibly do a bit of that, do a bit of that, do a bit of that, and do a bit of that. There we go. Kill a bit of speed. Parachutes are out at almost the speed of sound. Yeah, it was about Mach 0.8. I'm sure parachutes work at that sort of level. We probably should dump some fuel. So dump that. There we go. We could dump the oxygen as well, but I think that's probably a silly idea. You can't dump the crew, can you? No, you can't. Did we gather any science is the question that I'm now asking myself. Did we get any science out of this bad boy? We got one slot of 0.6, so yeah, another example of we didn't do much and we still got 0.6, so yeah, that's good. Right, I will get this down to the ground and I shall see you for the next one. That is that flight done. We got a little bit of science from there. That's done. We get that. That's going to be requiring staff, so we're going to go to the hangar. We're going to go put our staff in. There we go. Warp forward, get that done. Thank you very much. Then we're going to do our normal fix it. Right, we're going to warp forward, get that construction bit finished on fixing the craft. There we go. Then we can put that into prep for launch. We can warp forward on that. There we go. We can go back to our staffing. We can go, we're in the hangar. We get rid of all those staff. Saves us money. Check the balance. We are at, oh, wow. How is that? Oh, because we're not doing anything at the moment, are we? Right. Oh, yeah. We don't want to warp 2 funds, do we? Don't need to do that. We're just taking our time. Right. So combined, we are looking at, integration. We might want to put another one of these on. Duplicate that. Right. So let's have a look. We get orbital rocketry it's very close, isn't it? In fact, as soon as we get that, we're ready to go. So in 22 days, we're ready to go. So we're going to finish this episode out by doing this one, are we? Yeah, let's knock this one out, get it done. What are we on? 170, yeah, so let's get this one done. It's 240. It's the standard launch profile. It's everything we do. We'll do that. Then we'll fast forward, get to this point where we can actually start building stuff for the new launch complex. And I don't know if I've shown you before, but we shall have a look at that craft. Right, we've got a contract complete. The contract complete is X-Planes High. Yeah, we knew about that. Get rid of that. Right, we're going to do this the same. We've done it all those times. No, turn that off. You'll be wondering why I don't use SAS or Smart ASS when we start off. That's because we get a weird twist on this. So we're going to start the engines, launch the craft, then we'll go over to Smart ASS. We're going to hit that. Then we're going to come up. It's going to get, we're going to speed it up a bit, can't we? Go 2 times speed. We're going to go up to about 80 meters per second. Then we're going to do our turn to 85 degrees. And then when we get to 120, we're going to put it on 1 more than the pitch. It's going to do that for us. This is going to be lovely. We go to 3 times speed now. Absolutely superb. Get ready to jump to 45-degree angle when we hit that 1 kilometer per second thing. It's a lot. 1 kilometer per second is a huge speed if you think about it. 7, 8, 9. There we go, do it now. There we are. That should be us done. We can go at 4 times speed because we can. We can come over here. We can check this. We are getting some science. Look at that. A little bit of science. There we are. We are going to go up to 182 kilometers. That's well within the range that we can do with this. So that's not a problem. I think that's right. Anyway, yeah, 182. So we'll go over the 140 very soon. There we are. Then we can go up at normal speed. We can go super mega speed. And as soon as we get over there, we are going to complete the mission now without even starting on our way down. And then, because we don't want to kill any poor kangaroos or koala bears, we're going to range safety this. There we go. And with that, we have completed that. So we can recondition that, move that along. We have completed the mission. Let's just knock that off. We've got a big chunk there. Look at 2,300 confidence. And our reputation is quite good as well, actually. The reputation now can go up to 729. We are getting 132,000 as we do stuff. So we're going to swap that forward. Javelin 1 launch complex is done. So now we're just waiting on the orbital rocketry stuff. So with that in mind, let me show you what we're going to fly in the next episode. Right, so here it is, the Javelin 1A4. The 4 means these 4 side boosters. We'll talk about that in the next episode, I'm sure. The 1A is this core structure with this little bit on the top that's got a bit of fuel in it. Note to self: I do not currently have somewhere to put sounding payload. So we may have to modify this to put sounding payload on it, which we can do. It's not going to be a killer, I don't think. So yeah, this will be the first craft we use with the Delta engine. For those of you who don't know, the Delta engine was actually developed by the British. It was trialled. It was actually test fired and things like that. There was a whole range of Delta engines actually. The Delta 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if there was a 6. There was a 7. We've used the 5 and the 7 as sort of like an orbital engine because it was designed as a smaller sort of efficient burning engine. The Delta 3 and some of the other bits were actually trialled as a sort of high thrust engine, the equivalent of what would be the RZ1 or the RZ2. So that's the way it's basically been done. It had some really interesting sort of engine design philosophy to it, and probably, if the British had had more money, they would have developed it further. Instead, they went and I think they basically bought the Pratt & Whitney LR79 and modified it to make the RZ1 and RZ2, which are basically American engines, actually. So we're going to use this. We're going to use this. This is going to be our craft. It is about 80 tons. Okay, it's not the most efficient. The side boosters add a lot on because although they're very small, they are kerosene and HTP, so they are very dense fuels as opposed to your normal. Oh yeah, the Delta fires kerosene, liquid oxygen. Okay, so it's generic, sort of standard stage. So yeah, we've got us the pad ready. You can see there is a lot of unlocking required for this. We will be doing all that. Hopefully we'll actually have enough money to do it. But yeah, that will be in the next episode. So if you want to see this thing fly, from me, until next time, have a great one. So if that was good for you, check out on the screen right now some links. You can see other videos you might like. Check out the channel, see if there's any playlists you like. There's also some links to other content creators there you might like. Or leave a comment down below. Like, subscribe, do all those things.